Hi, and welcome to a video about input and somewhat output functions in C. I'm going to go over some of the ones that maybe don't get as much coverage in your textbook as they might, but which turn out to be really useful, especially when we talk about fread and ultimately fwrite, which are the I/O functions in C that you'll need to complete Project 8. Before we leave, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit the notified button, do all kinds of stuff so I can monetize the heck out of this and get rich and retire on my YouTube revenues. Or you could just watch this video. First, let's talk about a function called fgets. I think you see this used in this iBook periodically. I'm not sure they do a great job of explaining what it does. It's a really handy function, and it lies on that continuum of functions between fscanf or scanf, which does all kinds of automatic conversion for you, converts from strings to numbers and all that, and fwrite and fread, which do no conversion whatsoever. So in the middle is fgets, that's fgetString. You have to hash include standard io.h to get it. And here's an example of what it does. It reads a string from a file. Now a string reads a, well, normally the string is a line. If you think of text files, if you create them with a word processor or most text editors, each line you type, every time you press the enter key, that will be result in including a new line character at the end of the line. So that's how all the programs that process text know where a line ends. They look for the new line character. It's a bit different on different computers. It's a \n in C always, and they get converted to whatever combination of new line characters your operating system expects. That might be a line feed, it might be just a CR line, CRLF. Okay, so this piece of code you see here, it reads something from a file pointer called FP. We're going to talk about opening files in a little bit here, but just assume that FP points to an open text file. And fgets goes into that file and copies bytes from the file into buffer. Now, buffer had better be relatively large, so it has room to hold the longest line in the file. And we're using the sizeof function to make sure that fgets doesn't try to read more than will fit. So in short, what fgets does, and we'll look at some code that does this in a minute, and I think it will be more clear, it reads a line from the file into buffer and also returns its value as result, reads up until a new line, and then or until the maximum size is reached. So if you tell it the line you have in your file is 3,000 characters long and you tell it to read 2,000 characters, you won't get the whole line. In the first read, you'll get it in the next one. Whenever it stops, fgets null terminates the string, puts a 0 at the end of the string, which is very handy because that's exactly what all the C functions expect, and that keeps your program from blowing up. So let's take a second and look at the code, an example of code that actually uses fgets.